so that you'll be able to review whatever it is we go over.
All right.
And now the question is the source material. There's two ways we can do this. Either you can verbalize problems to me, or you can take a picture of them with your camera, your smartphone, and send those to my email. And I'll get them and we'll be able to bring it up on my screen and we'll both be able to look at it.
I should probably take a picture of it.
Let's try that process anyway, just to make sure we get it.
Okay.
And let me put my email address. I want you to send it to my email, not my phone.
All right.
Because it'll go straight to my computer this way. There's my email address. I'm hearing a bit of an echo, but that happens every now and then.
Alrighty. Alright, let me take a picture of this.
Yeah, make sure it's got plenty of light or use the flash.
Ah, okay. Let's see if this works.
Do you have the Droid operating system?
No, I have the iPhone.
You have an iPhone?
Yeah.
Okay. It should still give you a pretty easy option to send that to an email address.
We'll see if that worked. I don't know.
Open up my email here. One of the problems is I can't open up. I can't have much running besides the meeting.
Right.
And I'm not sure what happened right before the session, but it's telling me I'm overloaded now. Let's see. Tell me after you think it was sent. Does it give you any kind of message saying that your email was sent?
Let me try it another way.
Okay.
Hold on.
Sometimes it'll take 30 seconds for me to receive it. But this works pretty good, actually, surprisingly well. Most of my online students usually send me a picture of their textbook questions or their review material.
Let's see here. I have to re-sign into my email.
Okay.
And then, I'm
sure we could probably get by with having you verbalize the problems, but being that this is a kind of a test case, we should probably try to work through this.
Yeah. What's your email again?
Here, I'll put it up on the screen. Can you read that?
Yeah. Thank you.
Uh-huh. So how much snow you guys got?
Not too much.
No? I got 6 to 8 inches here.
Oh. Hold on 1 second.
Okay. Bless you.
don't know how I'm going to send this.
Usually, do you have like a gallery where you can choose that picture?
Like, I'm trying to, like, copy and paste it, because that's how it normally works.
Okay.
But it's not letting me for some reason.
Okay. Well, for tonight, why don't we just go through, have you verbalize these problems? What kind of stuff are we working on tonight?
It is matrices,
Okay.
and, let's see, it's like talking about like, I don't know how to explain this.
Multiplying them, adding them.
It's multiplying them,
Okay.
and,
So give me some problems, and I'll write the matrices out, and we'll talk about multiplying.
okay.
Or whatever problems you have.
Alright, so this is one problem that I have, and it's like the matrices of -1, 3.
Across the top?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's just one row of that, and then on the next matrices, it's 2 rows, and the first row is 1, 2, and the bottom one is 0, -1. And it's asking us to solve that.
To multiply them?
Yeah.
Okay. The way matrices work is you can only multiply it if the number of rows of this matrix is the same as the number of columns of this matrix.
Right.
This matrix is a 1 row by 2 column. This matrix over here is a 2 row by 2 column.
Right.
So as long as these are the same, we can multiply them.
Okay.
Okay? And the way we multiply them, if you can picture this graphically, is this column right here that has 1 and 0.
Mm-hmm.
That column, think of lifting it up, rotating it 90 degrees to the left, laying it on top of this row, and multiplying.
Okay.
Then you add those two numbers together.
Okay.
In other words, I'm going to take 1 times -1,
which is -1.
and I'm going to add it to 3 times 0. That is -1.
Okay.
Then I'm going to do the same thing with this column. I'm going to lift it up, rotate it, multiply each term. Add them together. So 2 times -2 plus -1 times 3.
Where did you get the 2 times the -2?
Remember, I'm picking this column up, I'm rotating it, and laying it on top of this row. So this 2 is going to be multiplying this -1. And this -1 is going to be multiplying this 3.
Okay, so wouldn't it be 2 times -1?
Yes. What did I... sorry.
It's okay.
Not to confuse you at all. But, yes, that's a horrible thing to do, isn't it? Okay. So this is -2 plus -3, so that would be -5, and that goes there. And this is your result. And you know your result is going to be these two outside numbers. It's going to be a 1 by 2 matrix.
Right. Okay.
So you can only multiply matrices if the inside numbers are the same, and if they are, after you multiply it, you're going to have a matrix that is 1 by that outside numbers.
Okay.
That's a good thing to know because it kind of tells you whether you're doing it right or not.
Okay.
You want to make sure you end up with a 1 by 2. And
Right.
we always mention the row first, the columns second.
Right.
Okay?
Okay. So, after you're done erasing that.
Uh-huh.
Alright. The next problem I have is in the first matrix, it's 2, 1, and that's two columns or rows. Yeah, and it's 5, 2 underneath that. And then the next matrix is -2, 3, and then 0, 2.
Okay, so what kind of matrix should we end up with?
A 2 by 2.
Uh-huh. And just another thing about matrices is that it doesn't have the associative problem. In other words,
Right.
multiplying this by this is not the same as reversing them and multiplying.
Mm-hmm.
Get a different answer. So what's my first step going to be? What number goes right there?
Okay, so you would do 2 times -2
Huh?
plus 1 times 3.
No, plus 1
Or 1
times
times
0.
0.
Plus
Yeah,
1
sorry.
times 0. So that's -4.
Right.
Okay?
So
And then
-4.
what goes in this spot?
You would put 5 times -2
Uh-huh.
plus 2 times 0.
Uh-huh.
And that would be -10.
Okay. And what do you suppose goes there?
And then the next one you do 1 times 3.
No.
Plus.
Remember, we're going to lift this column up, rotate it, and put it on top of that row. So the 3 is going to be over the 2. The 2 will be over the 1.
Oh, okay, so you do 2 times 3.
Yep.
Plus 1 times 2.
That's 8.
Okay.
Finally here.
And then you do, for the next one, it would be 5 times 2
No.
plus, no?
No. Remember, I'm taking this column and I'm going to put it over top of that.
Okay, so it would be 2 times 2.
Do it from left to right always. In other words, start with the 5 times 3.
So it would be 5 times 3?
Yeah, I thought you said 5 times 2 the first time.
Oh, I said 5 times 3.
Oh, my apologies.
It's okay.
So 5
5
times 3 plus what?
3 plus 2 times 2?
Right. So that is 19.
Right.
And there you have it.
Okay.
And we got our 2 by 2 matrix, and we were able to do it.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
Now, just so you're aware, the other thing about online sessions is I've opened it up and I've started 30-minute sessions. So if you only need a 30-minute session, it'll only cost you 30 minutes, $16.
Okay.
So it's much better for scheduling purposes also. Because I know sometimes you don't have a full hour to work on. But okay, what else you got?
Alright, another problem I have is a 2 by 2 by 2 matrices.
Okay.
And the first one it's 1, 0, and then 0, 1. And then the next matrix is 3, -4, and then negative 1, 2.
Now this happens to be a special matrix. That's called the unit. That actually shares the associative property. This is going to be one matrix that if I multiply this times this, it's the same as if I multiply them in reverse. Only because it has this unique aspect of it. It has diagonal ones and the other diagonals are zeros. Okay, so let's do this one.
Okay,
Upper
so
left.
you would do 1 times 3 plus 0 times negative 1.
Okay.
And that would be 3.
Lower left.
And then you do 0 times 3 plus 1, right?
Plus 1 times minus 1.
Right, okay.
Which is a
So
minus.
right.
So it's a minus.
Right.
Okay.
So negative 1.
Upper right.
You would do 0 times negative 4.
No.
0 times 3.
We're taking this column here, and we're multiplying it by that row. So the minus 4 goes on top of the 1.
Okay, so it would be 1 times negative 4.
Right.
Plus 0 times 2.
0 times anything is 0. So.
Okay, and then that would be negative 4.
Right. And the last cell?
That'd be 0 times negative 4 plus 1 times negative, or 2.
Notice
and
what
then that
we
would
got.
be 2.
Notice what we got. We got the same thing.
Oh yeah, we did.
Same matrix. And that's because we multiply it by the unity matrix. It's kind of like multiplying numbers by 1. When you multiply numbers by 1, you get the same number. Well, when you multiply a matrix by a unity matrix, or whatever, what does your teacher call this? Does he have a name for it?
I'm not sure. We just started this last class.
Okay. There may be a special word for it. I'm calling it the unity matrix. It's the, I think there is a special word for it. I just can't think of it. I'd have to look it up. But anyway, that has the special property that if you multiply it by another matrix, you get the same matrix.
Okay.
Okay. And that comes into play also when you start trying to solve equations using matrices.
Right. Right. So now I have 2 different matrices, and it's 1 row, and it's, for the first one, it's 1, 3, and then 4, or 1, negative 3, and 4.
So it's a 1 by 3?
Yeah.
Okay, how about this one?
And the next one, it's a 3 by 1.
Okay.
And it's 4, negative 1, 2.
Okay. So this was a 3 by 1. So these numbers are the same, so we can multiply them, and we should get a 1 by 1.
Okay.
One number only.
Okay.
So what's that going to be?
So you would do 1 times 4 plus negative 3 times negative 1 plus 4 times 2. And that would be 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 8, so 16? No, 15.
15. And that is a 1 by 1.
Okay.
Supposed to. Okay.
Okay. And then 17 Okay, so the next one is also both 2 by 2 matrices,
Okay.
and it's a 6, -4, and then 2, 5, and then a 1, 0, 0, 1.
Okay. Again, what I call the unity matrix.
Right, so could I just rewrite it?
Well, I'm expecting to get this matrix if I
Right.
remember my matrix algebra enough, but let's just go through it real quick.
Okay,
This
so
spot
it'd be
here.
6 times 1 plus -4 times 0 is 6.
Okay.
And then the next one would be 2 times 0
Hold it.
plus,
No, we're still
no,
on
2
this
times
one.
1
There you go.
plus 5 times 0, which is 2.
Uh-huh. So it looks like it's going to be the same.
Yeah, so, I mean, we did that problem before, so I
Yeah.
know how to do it.
Yeah. So what we basically have learned is that no matter which side this thing is on, left or right, it produces the same matrix
Right.
as this is over here. All right.
Alrighty.
Matrices are valuable for solving multiple equations and multiple unknowns.
Right.
I don't know if you and I have ever sat down and tried to solve 3 equations with 3 unknowns, but it requires, about 5 minutes. And if you try to do 4 equations and 4 unknowns, that's going to require about 20 minutes. You get up to 10 or 11 equations, it's very, very time consuming. And
Right.
matrix algebra gives you a way of solving lots of equations and lots of unknowns all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Part of it involves using that unity matrix, but you haven't got to that part yet. So.
Right. Okay. For this one, it's a 2 by 3, and the first matrix is 2, 4, -1, 0, 3, 1. And the next matrix is a 3 by 2, and it's 3, 0, -1, 1, 0, 4.
Okay. Goes here.
And then you would do 2 times 3 plus 4 times 0
No.
minus 1.
Remember, here's what we're doing. This image is very important here. You're lifting this, think of this as a statue. You're lifting it up, rotating it 90 degrees, laying it on top of that row.
Right.
Such that the 3 lays over the 2, the -1 lays over the 4, and the 0 lays over the -1. So we have the 3 times the 2, and then we have -1 times 4, so that's a -4. And then we have 0, and so I know it's 0. So I add those 2 together, and I get +2.
Okay.
And remember, we're going to end up with a 2 by 2.
Okay.
So now do the same process with the second row and the second column.
So you would do 0, times 0
No.
plus...
Make sure we're lifting this up, rotating it left. In other words, this thing's going to get rotated like this. And the three numbers are, there's the 3, there's the -1, there's the 0. So when you lay that over that second row, what gets multiplied by that 3?
Okay, so you do 0 times 3
This is a
minus 1 times 3.
Right, so we're at -3.
And then plus 1 times 0.
So -3, okay?
Right, and then the second one you do 2 times 0 plus 4 times 1 minus 1 times 4.
So that's 0. That's 4 minus 4, okay?
Right. And then you do, for the next one, it'd be 0 times 0
Right.
plus 3 times 1, and then 1 times 4. 7. Okay.
Okay?
Starting to make sense.
Yeah. No, I think this visual is very important to do matrices, is to just imagine that you pick up that whole column of numbers, move it over, turn it left, drop it on that row, multiply the numbers that are on top. Or
right.
on one over the other. Okay?
And then for the, I'll wait till you erase that.
Okay.
So for the next one, they're both 3 by 3 matrices.
Okay.
And then for the first one, it is 2, 1, 1. -2, 3, -1. 0, 2, 4.
Okay.
And then the next one is -3, 1, 0. 2, 2, -4. 1, 0, 1.
Okay.
Okay. So the first thing you do is 2 times -3
Okay.
plus 1 times 1.
No.
Oh, no, never mind. 1 times 2.
Okay.
Plus 1 times 1.
Right. Yeah. I shouldn't have said no because there was a 1 times 1 there, but I wanted you to stay in that same order. So that's -3.
Right. And then you would do -2 times -3
Okay.
plus 3 times 2 minus 1 times 1.
So that is 11.
Right. And then the next one would be 0 times -3 plus 2 times 2 plus 4 times 1.
That's 8. Okay, and we got 9 squares to fill in here.
Right.
Okay, so this
And
one.
then it'd be, the next one would be 2 times 1
That's 2.
plus,
Go ahead.
plus 1 times 1.
1 times 2.
Oh, 1 times 2.
So that's
Plus,
4.
or minus 1 times -4.
No. In other words, we're working with this column here, not the -4 column.
Oh, I was doing that wrong. Okay, yeah.
Okay? In other words, we're laying this column over this row.
Okay, yeah, I
So
was
we have
mixing
the
myself
1
up.
times the 2 plus the 2 times the 1 plus 0. The moment you see a 0, know that its product doesn't add into it, so you can kind of ignore it. But make sure that this one's laying over the 2 and this 2 is laying over that 1, producing that 4. Okay? So the middle one now?
Right, so it would be -2 times 1 plus 3 times 2 minus 1 times negative, or 0.
So that's 4.
Right, and then the next one would be 0 times 1 plus 2 times 2 plus 4 times 0.
Right. Okay. And finally the last one, or the last column. Yeah.
Okay, so that would be 0 times -3.
No.
No? Oh, oops, never mind. Okay, so that'd be 2 times 0.
Okay.
Minus 2 times -4.
Hold on. This is the column.
Oh, yeah, so it would be -1.
In other words, when you're missing a cell over here, I'm missing the upper right, the farthest column to the right and the upper row, which means it comes from the farthest column on the right multiplying the upper row. So if you get kind of lost, which is easy to do when you do a 3 by 3, know that the cell corresponds to the position of the column and the position of the row.
Okay.
Okay. So what was that one there? That was minus 4 plus 1 minus 3. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay. What's this one here?
So then it would be -2 times 0 plus 3 times -4.
Okay, that's minus 12. Okay.
Minus 1 times 1.
So that's minus 13.
13. Okay, and then the last one is 0 times 0 plus 2 times -4
minus 8
plus 4 times 1.
minus. If I could make a mechanical matrix multiplier, I would make these rows liftable, so I could lift that up, and then I could lift that up, and then I could lift that up.
Right.
And I would move them over top, and then down to the next row, down to the next row. Take this column, move it over the top row, down to the next row, down to the next row, and so forth and so on. And as long as you remember that just follow that pattern, then it doesn't matter if you're doing a 4 by 4 times a 4 by 4. It's just being methodical and make sure you're doing the right column and the right row.
Okay. And those were all the problems that he gave us.
Okay.
So.
Well, by next week you probably, you might still be in matrices. I don't know. How much, might not. I'm not sure how much time they'll spend on matrices with you or with your class.
Yeah.
But if you are, that's fine.
All right.
So let's see. Do I have your email address? I don't think I do.
I don't think so.
Let me write it on this thing so you can verify that it's correct. And I will send you a link to get the recording of this file. This might be a file you want to review, because if you forget how to do this, you just have to review 5 minutes of it and you'll remember how to do it.
So how do I write it on here?
I'll write it. Just you talk and tell it to me, and I'll write it, and then you tell me if that's correct.
Okay. I'll just spell it out for you.
Okay.
Tigger.
Tigger.
BABY 5 @live.com. Yeah, I made that email when I was like 10. So
I knew that. My son is still living with this email that he made when he was about 10. I'm sure there's a lot of people who end up embarrassed by some of their emails they made up when they were kids. But anyway, that's a good one, actually. So I will send you, it takes about, probably won't get processed until tonight, late, or tomorrow morning. So I will send you the email as soon as it gets ready for view, and take a look at it and see what you think.
All right.
And then we can decide next time whether we want to do this online again or in person. But it would definitely help if you can figure out how to take a picture. Maybe if you can have your dad or your sister assist you with taking a picture and sending it to my email address.
Yeah.
Oops, and there's a G there that got erased. DavidCowan@gmail.com.
Okay.
Okay? All right. Taryn, I will talk to you next time.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.